take a glance here at some of the other questions that came in just to make sure that I am doing a good job of covering these things. There was a question about 4G and 5G contributing to the spread of the mortality rate of COVID-19, and I don't actually know what that particular individual was referencing, but I'm not aware of a specific relationship between 4G or 5G and COVID. Centers for Disease Control has said that we don't have much likelihood of getting COVID-19 from a package or a delivery. So looking at the CDC website as of last night, it says that if packages are dropped off, the focus from Centers for Disease Control is not to be hypervigilant about the package itself, but instead to let the package be left and then sort of grabbed off the curb or the doorstep, and to have a mask on and try to have the delivery person have a mask on. So again, the focus is on droplet spread and masks. Also, Centers for Disease Control recommends immediately going to 20 seconds of hand washing right away after accepting a delivery of food or a package or what have you. It's looking like the virus has a hard time persisting on inanimate surfaces, as it were, like packaging materials. So we know that the virus can stick around for a little while on some of these surfaces, but not terribly long. Most of the threat comes from droplet and aerosolized spread from people's mouths, and that's why the best thing we can do for one another as a service to other individuals is to wear a mask. And just as a reminder, there's a lot of not so accurate scientific information out there right now floating in the digital ether of the internet and elsewhere. And the key thing to remember is that one of the most important things that you do with a mask is you protect others, because you can be asymptomatic with COVID-19. I'm gonna again take one more brief glance here. And there's a question, is it better to exercise for your immune system or truly stay at home? And the question is framed as a this or that question. Should I get exercise or stay home? And so much of functional medicine is about this and. And so we find these win-win solutions in functional medicine, which is part of why it's so satisfying and exciting. So we want people to find ways to exercise indoors if they feel safer indoors, or if they're in a crowded metropolitan setting where it's hard to get outside. Many parts of the world, it's almost impossible to get outside without running into others, and many countries are having to institute very strict recommendations about how to be outside and or be masked. But in Alaska, many of us have the latitude to be outside. It's certainly something to be thankful for in Alaska. Again, this photo that is today's backdrop was me just above the reservoir when I was running with my wife a week ago. And so we can be outside, and the exercise absolutely benefits our immune system directly and indirectly. So it's critical for good immune function to be getting at least 30 minutes of activity where you can tell that your heart rate and breathing rate are higher 5 days a week. The more the better, as long as you don't feel depleted or overwhelmed by the exercise. The other thing to know, of course, is just that there's so many different things that count as exercise. So just remembering to get up and move more, get up and stand, walking stairs in the house, being outside masked, maybe thinking of a different way to exercise, use a bike if running isn't available. Some of this is just about being creative and resilient and flexible.